We have reached a breaking point, Michael Steiner reports. If you don't have a border, you don't have a country. It certainly would not be a surprise to hear me say that our immigration crisis has brought us to a breaking point, but those are not my words. As you'll see below, the mayor of New York City is actually saying this. During the Biden administration, the floodgates have opened and vast hordes of illegal migrants are pouring into the country every single day. New York City, Chicago, and other major urban areas simply do not have enough resources to take care of the illegal immigrants that have already arrived, but more just keep coming in. The tsunami of humanity that is coming over our borders has become so extreme that even CNN is reporting on it now. Brian Silva's 3 dogs were usually the first to alert him that large groups of people were walking onto his San Diego County property. He'd wake up all hours to Whiskey, Soldier, and Freedom barking incessantly. Today the trio keep quiet most of the night. While the crowds of migrants have not stopped passing through, it's because they're so common that the dogs now sleep through it. This country was built on immigration. I'm fine with that, Silva said, but not like this. This is ridiculous. Silvas is beyond frustrated, and he told CNN that if he had enough money, he said, I would build my own wall right here. CNN interviewed the owners of another property about 5 miles away, who say that all of their trees are gone because illegal migrants have chopped them all down to use in their campfires. About 5 miles east of Silva's property along the same southern border, Jerry and Maria Suster are experiencing the similar crisis, except the migrants who cross that are not just passing through their land, they're also camping out. Tents, discarded clothes, and trash are scattered across parts of their 17-acre property. There are several campfires burning at night as the migrants try to keep warm in their near-freezing temperatures as they make their way to various gathering spots along the U.S. side and await officials with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. My trees are all gone. They chopped them up and put them in the fire, said Jerry Suster, who alleges one group of migrants broke a wood fence on his property to fuel their fire. Did you ever imagine that CNN would publish such an article? And CNN is actually admitting that most illegal immigrants actually run to authorities once they reach the U.S. soil. For years, migrants who crossed illegally into the United States would often run away from law enforcement, but now, once reaching the U.S., most run to authorities, according to observers. They're eager to be processed, knowing that they will likely be released in a few days to await court dates that could be years away. Our once proud Border Patrol officers have been transformed into customer service agents for those seeking asylum. Instead of enforcing our laws, they have been regulated to facilitating a systematic invasion of our country. And this is exactly what our politicians and globalist NGOs want, and right now they are winning. Globalist NGOs that are funded with your tax money are helping to resettle illegal immigrants in communities all over America. In many instances, they are actually put on domestic flights without any proper documentation at all. The next time you're fondled at the airport by a TSA agent, look around, you may be very well see foreign nationals ushered through security without proper documentation, as disregarding every TSA rule. And while Biden pretends that millions of invaders from 150 countries are a natural occurrence, his administration is using taxpayer-funded non-governmental organizations to disperse tens of thousands of them throughout the country. This cannot be allowed to continue. Why won't Republicans pledge to put an end to it by refusing to fund one more penny of this scheme with the budget deadline looming? In other instances, illegal immigrants are transported by bus. Our major cities are already completely overwhelmed by the buses just keep arriving. At this stage, things are already so big that in the Big Apple, that New York City Mayor Eric Adams has been forced to admit that, quote, we have reached a breaking point, end quote. The Democratic mayors of 3 sanctuary cities, Chicago, New York City, and Denver, warned their metro areas are quickly approaching a breaking point due to the ongoing surge of illegals bust up from southern border this year. We cannot allow buses with people needing our help to arrive without warning at any hour of day and night, New York City Mayor Adams said during a virtual news conference with Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson and Denver Mayor Mike Johnston. Adams warned, for many months we were able to keep the visualization of this crisis from hitting our streets, but we have reached a breaking point, he said. But if we can't go to sanctuary cities, if they can't go to sanctuary cities that were at once eager to welcome them, where are they supposed to go? Of course, the truth is that we cannot possibly absorb all the illegal immigrants that want to come here. And as I discussed yesterday, there are now 49.5 million people that were not born in the United States living in this country. Some are here legally, but many others came here illegally. Needless to say, a lot of those that arrived illegally, get involved in drug trade and other forms of organized crime. The more will be arriving soon. At this moment, a giant caravan of asylum seekers that started in southern Mexico is making headline all over the world, and Mexican authorities are actually escorting the groups and providing crowd control. Mexican authorities stood down any efforts to contain a new migrant caravan that embarked this week from the southern part of Mexico. Authorities are currently escorting the groups and providing crowd control, calling themselves the Poverty Exodus, Éxodo de la Pobreza. The caravan, which is made up of more than 6,000 migrants, left the city of Tapachula, Chiapas on Christmas Eve. The caravan is making its way north. In various parts of the journey, the immigrants waved a banner with the caravan's name and carried a white cross. Members of the group made public claims that their goal was to reach the United States for economic reasons. Are you kidding me? We really are being invaded, and the government of Mexico is actively facilitating this. Cities all over America are being absolutely packed with extremely desperate illegal invaders, just as we enter the most chaotic election year in U.S. history. Anyone can see that this is a recipe for widespread chaos. We are in so much trouble, but our politicians in Washington continue to refuse to secure our borders. And this is by Michael Snyder. He says about the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled Chaos is now available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 7 other books available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, Living a Life That Really Matters, Commissions Earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so you won't miss any of my articles. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News. And the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter. And any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. This is on the Economic Collapse blog by Michael Snyder. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.